So today, we're playing the Pyromancer, and we may have an awesome build today, featuring the Cryomancer, Dancing Dragon, double ice armors, and shielded skill. So our ice armors can freeze our opponents, while our Dancing Dragon deals massive, big damage. But hey, check this run out, and let me know what you think of this build. Okay, let's go and jump some rank games with a random character and see who we're going to get today. Okay, so we're starting off with a hammer, with the offering ball, which is kind of nice because we're going to start off with a bit of empower. And this could actually be awesome. And we're going to be looking for a lot of piggy banks to smash open. But we're not going to use our offering ball on our hammer for right now. We're going to start off, we're going to take our big old banana. We might as well take this whetstone. We're going to take the pocket stand for now. We're going to roll once. Would like to grab a second banana, to be quite honest. I'm going to grab it for now. I'm going to roll once more. Now, unfortunately, we don't start off with the dagger, which is kind of disappointing. It is what it is. I'm going to take the stone. I'm going to offer it up. And I do actually want to grab the piggy bank along with this fanny pack. But for right now, this is going to be round one. Is it going to be good enough? Can we survive? We are going to have a lot of damage with that hammer. But it is going to eat up a lot of our stamina. However, smashing. 3 big hits. Awesome. Just pausing the video here very quickly, just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. Now these are going to recombine into something not too bad. Those give us a flame, which we're going to be taking this fanny pack for now. We're going to be increasing the speed of our hammer, along with a big old banana. Now we also do want to take this piggy bank, smash it open with our hammer. Now I do actually want to roll, and I do want a little bit more storage. To the point we're going to sell our garlic so we can actually grab this also. And we cannot offer up anything in our offering ball, but it'll have to be this way for now. With 2 bananas in, we should be in a pretty good spot. But we'll see. Also with the Star of Courage means our hammer's not going to be using up as much stamina. And once you crack open our piggy bank, we're actually going to be offering up the coins into our offering ball, which should be pretty good. However, so far, not too bad. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to offer up our coins, which should be fantastic. That's a second piggy bank. That's also another whetstone, which I actually do want to grab. Now, because I do actually want to craft up this hero sword, but we're going to roll because we are going to need the storage, unfortunately. And we're going to have to lose a piggy bank for right now. We'll have to lose out our banana for now so we can actually crack open this piggy bank. We are definitely going to need this leather bag, but we're going to fit in our stone for now. And we're going to move on. And we'll see. Now, these bunch of coins we can sell, but we should get a ton more value offering them up in our offering ball, rather than actually sell them. And now, not having our banana in, our second one, our stamina was a little bit rough there. And unfortunately, that's going to be a big downfall. Super unfortunate, it is what it is. And awesome. We got ourselves a little bird. We got ourselves some more coins. Now we could take Piggy Pinata, which is just trying piggy bank generates items instead. Since we have our hammer, should we actually take it? It would make sense to actually grab it, but I'm not planning on using the hammer for too much longer. So I'm thinking about going for the Power of the Moon and getting a big fatigue burst heal. Mana Mastery is really not great for us right now. We've no use for mana. So I'm still going to take this Power of the Moon. We're going to grab our storage for now. Out of all these, I'm going to roll for now. That is another whetstone. I'm going to prioritize a little bit more storage. And let's roll once more. Now, it is time we actually get our wooden sword. And we could potentially go for a Falcon Blade type setup. Now, I'm going to craft up that hero sword. We're going to grab our gloves. We're going to offer up a bird along with our coins. And we're going to get something super interesting, hopefully. But let's keep moving for now. However, this opponent already has a Falcon Blade with a Gooberts and with a Spicy... Yeah, we're in big trouble. We're already up a half HP. And especially with our double weapons, our stamina's not going to be able to handle it. Now, I actually do want to hide this. And I do actually want to offer up our hammer too. And let's keep moving. And we're going to get a ton of value right now. Okay, actually, awesome. This is kind of insane. We got ourselves an Amulet of Steel, we got ourselves the Shield of Valor, we got ourselves that Heroic Potion. Now we're going to take our gloves. We could take the spear and craft up a Molten Spear, which I'm thinking we're going to do. Do we keep our Strong Heroic Potion or do we sell it on? Because I do want this storage pretty badly. I think we're going to sell a stone. Now instead of crafting up that Sun Shield, I do want to keep our Power of the Moon open to crafting up that Moon Shields. Which means I'm actually going to sell this banana so we can actually grab a little bit more storage. And unfortunately, I think we're going to slot this like this for right now. And craft up that strong heroic pot, add in our flame, add this in and offer that up so we get an extra flame. And let's move on. And now we should be in a really fantastic spot right now. And I'm glad we left one slot open for our spear so we can actually deal a little bit of damage to their armor. So we should be able to burst them down pretty fast. And actually, it's going to be quite close, and we barely scraped by there. Holy moly, was that way too close for comfort. And we did get a strong rogue potion, which now means we could have actually went for Turnip. Now actually, Dancing Dragon is kind of insane. To the point where we're actually going to get rid of our Molten Spear. We're going to get rid of our Molten Spear, we're going to be taking our Dancing Dragon, and we are wanting to find a pair of gloves. We're also going to want to find a bunch of mana orbs and go for Moon Armor, Moon Shields into Dancing Dragon. But let's roll. Let's keep rolling for now. And let's roll again. Now it's a second shield, but it's not exactly what we want. So we could have went for Excalibur 2. I'm going to keep rolling to try and find a pair of gloves. And unfortunately, we just didn't find it. Now we are going to want a set of blueberries for our Dancing Dragon, because any magic item, such as this Part of Moon, is going to be super valuable to it. But we're going to move on. We're going to be getting our blueberries. We could be getting that chili, because if we stack up a lot of heats, it means our Dancing Dragon is going to deal a lot more damage. Because right now we're only starting off with 4 heat generation, but that Dancing Dragon is going to be a lot of damage. We definitely high rolled with this Dancing Dragon. Now let's take the blueberries. Let's grab the potion belts. We could grab this box of riches on sale. And there's Falcon Blade. Smashing. But unfortunately we're going to have to wait around to actually craft it up. But unfortunately we're going to have to rock on with the setup. Now I'm going to keep our box of riches in, because then we could be generating up some gemstones that we can actually slot into our armor or into our weapon situation. And so far, not actually looking too bad. However, this opponent is inflicting a lot of cold on us with that artifact stone colds, but smashing all the same. Really fantastic. Now comes the problem in what we should actually pick here. Now if we do stack up a bunch of magic items around our Dancing Dragon, we could actually take Cryomancer, because we could inflict a lot of heat that way, and then give crit chance to our Dancing Dragon. Because there is 2 magic ice items. So it kind of makes sense in favor of going for Cryomancer here. Or am I crazy? Otherwise we can go for that Dark Lantern, inflict a lot of debuffs, go for Dark Saber on top of the Part of Moon. Get our Moon Armor, get our Moon Shield, get a ton of block that way. That also sounds pretty darn good overall. But I think we're going to go Cryomancer. Now it did give us Ice Armor, which is kind of nice too. That is also going to be fantastic for our Amethyst Steel. First of all, we're still going to be crafting up that Falcon Blade, which means we're going to grab our Ice Armor, which means we're going to roll once. We're going to reserve another Ice Armor, which is crazy insane. Now I'm actually thinking strongly about selling our Strong Rogue Potion. Even though we could have offered it up into our Offering Bowl, I did really want this Ice Armor, because that is going to be a ton of value, especially with our Amethyst Steel. Now second Ice Armor is going to eat up a lot of heat generation. But come on sale for 6. We do have to take it. Now actually, before we do move on, I actually want to grab this and just increase our Dancing Dragon even just a little bit. And we'll see. Now we are going to need a way to sustain our heat generation, because with our Ice Armor in, it is actually going to use up a lot of our heat generation. Now actually, our setup right now is using up too much of our stamina, which is going to be a little bit problematic. However, yeah, because our Dancing Dragon is not actually hidden, so we're not getting that damage. But not too bad. Now we could take Draconic Orb. I'm actually going to grab this. Let's grab a second Ice Armor. Let's roll. Now it would be kind of nice to grab that Eye Lamp. It would also be kind of nice to grab this Bloody Amulet. We could also grab Corrupted Crystals, because we're inflicting a lot of debuffs. We can actually get a ton of armor that way. But I'm going to roll once. I'm actually going to take this Protect Weather first, because we're going to slot this out, having our Ice Armor in this position. We're going to have to take out our box of riches for this round, unfortunately. As much as I need these flames in, I don't think we can actually afford to fit it in. I'm actually going to sell this Topaz so we can actually grab this. Now, unfortunately, we're going to rock on with the setup for right now. We do have our Frozen Flame in this position, which should give us a ton of armor with our Shield of Valor, with our Amethyst Steel in. We should get a ton of empower that way, and we'll see. It's just going to be good enough. Can we survive? We do start off with 170 armor. We got a little bit of coal stacked up. We do have a lot of empower, which means our Falcon Blade is going to be dealing quite a bit of damage along with our Dancing Dragon. And smashing. Now we really need heat generation to keep our ice armors going because we are literally about to get shielded. Shielded is going to trigger our armors 30% faster, which is going to be perfect for our ice armors. Let's grab it for now. That is a holy armor which we could craft up into sun armor. We don't have a lot of heat for it. We could also get that moon armor. But I think we're going to prioritize the ice armors. But first of all, let's grab a corrupted crystal. Let's roll. That's another ice armor, but I don't think we can actually afford to grab it right now. We're going to grab a little bit of storage. Now, we could make the pivot. Switch from Falcon Blade into a Flame type build. The thing is though, we don't exactly have spike generation. So it would be a big risk. I think we reserve for now, and we may actually want to keep it. We're going to move this setup with our Falcon Blade in this position, with our shielded in this position, tagging our ice armors. We're going to move on. Now our Box of Riches is not going to be fitting in anymore, but we should be able to inflict a little bit of poison with our regular emeralds. We should potentially be able to get some frost with our Falcon Blade. And so far, our setup is looking pretty good. Apart from our stamina, everything else is looking awesome. Now, should we actually take the turnip? I'm going to grab it for now. I'm going to roll. That is a mana orb which we could craft up into that Power of the Moon, which I'm thinking we're going to grab. Now, we're going to sell our Falcon Blade. We're going to grab it. We're going to craft it up. And we are going to craft up this lamp. And we're going to grab the stamina sack. And we're going to slot these back in. And we are going to keep our Box of Riches. Now, the problem is, this is going to eat up a lot of our stamina. We're going to have to move on for right now. But once we get our flame up in, we should be able to turbo stack a lot more heats. Keeping our ice armors going, so we can keep inflicting that frost. So our Dancing Dragon can actually deal a lot of damage. Now it is kind of counterproductive because we are using up a lot of our heats. So our Dancing Dragon is actually losing DPS throughout the fight. However, our opponent is actually inflicting a lot of debuffs on us. A crazy amount of debuffs, unfortunately. And yeah, they actually managed to smash us down completely. Now we're actually going to take the Book of Ice, which is a lot of golds. We're going to roll once. Twice even. We are going to want this Walrus Tusk. Now unfortunately, no matter which way we actually slot this in, our shielded is going to have to be right beside our Frozen Flame. Now our Amber Steel can slot up in this position. It does mean our Book of Ice actually would be super awesome in this position, but again, our shielded actually needs to be in this position because then we get the effect of it. But unfortunately, we do want this Walrus Tusk. That way we can get a little bit more heat stacked off the very beginning. But we're going to move on with this setup. Is this going to be enough? Now, actually, our ice armors are super counterproductive with the Dancing Dragon because that is going to be eating up our heats, which means it's going to be decreasing our damage on our Dancing Dragon. We are going to be scaling up our crit chance, and we are going to be inflicting a lot of frost though. But our heat is gone, so we do need that spike generation. However, it's looking quite scary, and it's going to be quite close, and we barely survived. Holy moly, was that way too close for comforts. And we got ourselves a big old pineapple, which is going to be awesome. Now we're going to grab this flawed ruby, which means I'm going to let go of the Walrus Tusk for now. I'm going to roll. Now I'm actually going to grab this storage for now so we can actually add this in back up top, and we can have our pineapple in this position. We could grab another mana orb, but don't exactly want to. We're going to sell this amethyst because I do actually want to grab another set of blueberries because that is another magic item, which is going to be pretty darn good for our Dancing Dragon. So we might actually want this mana orb. 6 gold for 2 luck and 2 heats from the very beginning. I think I'm actually going to have to let it go for now. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Now, I would have liked to have our shield beside our Dancing Dragon, but to get the most value from our shields, we do need it in that position. We should be in a much better spot with our flame up because we can actually keep consistently with our heats. Now, the problem is stamina is going to be a big issue. But this is looking really insane right now. That's a turbo amount of frost. 63 frost and still going up and smashing. Really awesome. Now our DPS, not super great because our stamina is really bad. Stamina usage wise. So we do need to sort out our stamina. As for heals, actually not too bad, but that's basically because of the Power of the Moon. As for block though, our block is pretty darn good. And we do have that main layer defense with that cult because that blood turn going down to 2.5 seconds. Big ball treats nearly 6 seconds. It's going to be really fantastic for us. But let's keep moving for now. Now I'm actually going to grab the flute. I'm going to roll once. And I think I'm going to sell the flute in favor of actually grabbing this flawless topaz, because this is literally going to help our stamina altogether. Let's sell it. Let's actually add it in. Let's take our tiny little protected purse. Let's roll again. And do we actually want a frostbite? I think we continue on with the setup. Now, do we actually want a Wolpertinger to help with our stamina? I think we might actually want to take it. I'm going to preserve it, but we'll check out our stamina. Especially since we added in this flawless topaz. But we are going to begin a shield, which is going to make our stamina even worse. But we'll see. We should be able to inflict a lot of frost on our opponents. And we're going to have a ton of healing with that Goobert. They're also going to remove a ton of our buffs. But our Dancing Dragon should be scaling up their crit chance. Dealing that big damage. We got our burst heal from our Power of the Moon. And actually, big smashing damage. Really awesome. Now, shielded with 2 ice armors, we got extremely lucky. And on top of it, that Corrupted Crystal. Still giving us some block. Not a crazy amount of block, but 42 overall. Now, that is another Book of Ice, which I'm thinking very, very strongly about taking. More so than the actual Wolpertinger for right now. I'm going to roll once, and we're probably going to want this bit of storage too. And we're going to slot it in this position for right now. We can add back in our Box of Riches. Let's roll once more. That is another Mana Orb. Which do we actually want for our Book of Ice? Now, we could also take the Glowing Crown on top of it, but I don't think we're going to want to. So I think we're going to move on. Now, with 2 Books of Ice in, we should be able to inflict a lot more of that cold. And especially since we have our Moon Shield in, we should be able to have a good bit of mana for our Books of Ice to inflict that frost. Now, actually, our Power of the Moon might actually want to be placed over beside our Moon Shield, because before where we had it, we necessarily needed that 2 heats. But with our Flame Up in, we actually don't need it near our Dancing Dragon as much. And that 2 luck from the very beginning. It's going to be super, super important to actually grab it, but not as important right now. So we can actually slot this back over where we actually had it. Now, I actually don't think we take this Wolpertinger. I think we're actually going to take the Djin's Lamp since it's on sale. We're going to roll. That's another Corrupted Crystal, which actually I'm going to want to take. But for now, let's take this a little bit of storage. Let's add in our Djin's Lamp so we get that extra magic item. We're going to slot in our Chipped Sapphire for right now. I do want this Corrupted Crystal pretty darn badly, but unfortunately, we're going to have to move on. Now, we did change our Djin's Lamp instead of the Power of the Moon, and it should be in a much, much better spot. But we'll see. Now, we are going to begin Nocturnal Locklifter with a ton of stacking damage on that Bloodthorn. They're going to have 100% accuracy, but that Bloodthorn is going to be super, super slow. So we should be in a fantastic spot. Now, again, our stamina is not going to be too great. So we might have actually want that Wolpertinger, but we are increasing our heat generation like crazy, which we have stacked up an absurd amount of cold right now. These ice armors are going nuts, and our opponent literally can't play the game because that is 185 cold. That Bloodthorn got up to 7-second activation. A 13-second hard container. Yeah, our opponent didn't actually get to play the game. A 35-second Prismatic Orb. Well, I think we hit the nuts. Shielded with ice armors. Kind of crazy. That's for sure. However, we're going to be grabbing this for sure. That's another Mana Orb, which we're going to slot in this position for right now. Even though it's not going to be super ideal. Now, we're actually going to take another one of these Flawed Rubies. We're going to roll once again. And can we actually fit in an Ice Dragon? I'm not sure if we actually can fit it in, because if we can fit it in, that is going to be insane. I actually think we can fit it in. But I'm still going to roll for now. And we're probably going to want this stamina stack if we're going to try fit this Ice Dragon in. And that is going to be our final round item. So let's keep moving for now. Can we survive? Our opponent is going to be trying to counter us by stacking up a lot of heats. But we should be able to inflict a lot of frost super quick. And get that big damage with our Dancing Dragon. And our opponent doesn't have a whole lot of defenses. So we should be able to smash him. 133 Dancing Dragon. Awesome. Our DPS, just about 50 DPS overall. With barely any heals. And with our block, actually 420 block. Pretty darn good. Especially with that cold, our opponent literally cannot play the game. For this round, let's grab our Ice Dragon, which means we cannot do anything else. We're going to sell our Box of Riches since we don't need it anymore. And we're going to roll once. And should we finally take one last Ice Armor, which shielded this could be nuts. Instead of the Ice Dragon. But no, we're going to slot in our Ice Dragon down in this position for right now. And this is it. This is going to be the final setup. Now we could take one final set of blueberries. I don't think we can actually afford to fit it in anywhere. So I don't think we are going to take it. Let's roll once more. And twice more. Now awesome. Prismatic Orb on sale. Kind of awesome altogether, but it is what it is. Now this is going to be the final setup, which turned out to be a lot better than I ever expected. Now, Ice Dragon. Once your opponent reaches 12 ice, it's going to give us 50 armor. And then on hit, it's also going to inflict that frost. And since we're stacking up our flame up, it's not going to use up stamina, so then stamina's not going to be as much of a problem. So overall, this should be fantastic. From Dancing Dragon to Ice Dragon to flame up from Falcon Blade. It turned out to be quite awesome. Now, honestly, the MVP in this build is shielded with those ice armors. That turned out to be really, really fantastic. But let's see. Can we win out? Are we going to lose? We are going to get a Busted Blade, so we could be bursted down immediately. Especially if they get that regen stacked up. But hey, if we get our Frost, they do have those Dragon Skin Boots to prevent a lot of our Frost stacked up on them. They managed to get 3 in power. But we have so much armor. However, they after dealing that big damage. And actually, it's not looking too good, and we actually fell short. Which is crazy, but it is what it is. That Busted Blade is still a Busted Blade overall. Now, unfortunately, we couldn't really stack up with too much debuffs on our opponents. Because one, they had Dragon Skin Boots, which prevents a lot of ice stacked up. 40% cold resistance. Pretty rough overall. But they also had a Divine Potion to cleanse a lot of those debuffs too. So unfortunately, we kind of met our match. And they actually managed to get the Draconic Orb, 15 heats. So they got that big crit with that Busted Blade. Yeah, as you can see, a 306 crit from the Busted Blade is just straight up nuts. As you can see, our opponent actually cleansed 16 frost on us, which we got to that 30 frost, which would have increased our crit chance on our Dancing Dragon a hell of a lot more, and it would have actually slowed down their setup even more. But unfortunately, it is what it is. Builds. We do get punished pretty hard by those big burst builds. But anyways, this build turned out to be a lot of fun. Let's go and see just how much rank points we got. We did survive with 3 lives left. How much will we get? Plus 12 ranks up quite a bit. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to see you for the next one. See you next time.